heard a lot about JTR, your videos actually.
Yeah.
Other systems too, the synthesis system, I tested out. Nice system, but there's just no comparison. And I'd heard that from you and others, and I just needed to experience it.
Yeah.
It was worth the trip to come out and like check before splurging.
All right, guys, we just finished up another demo. David flew all the way from Ohio. He wanted to check out the JTR system. He's considering it for his theater. So we just finished up with about 30 minutes of demoing. Just wanted to have a conversation with him to get his experience with JTR, with Kaleidescape, and just get his thoughts. All right, David, so you flew all the way from Ohio. So you reached out to me the other day and said, hey, I'm looking at JTR. I'm building a theater room, but I've never heard it, never experienced it. So you wanted to come, really you wanted to find a place in Ohio. And I shared that, you know, I only knew of a couple of guys. I said, hey, there's always option if you want to hop on a plane, come out here. So within a few days, you booked a flight, came out here. You're heading back in like another 2 hours. You're gonna be jumping on a flight. So tell me kind of what your experience was, maybe even what you thought going into this. What were you hoping to gain and experience today?
Yeah, short and sweet visit, but it was very purposeful. I've been on a search for trying to build out the home theater. I finally have a space that will allow me to do a little bit more with it, put up a bigger screen and things like that. So I want to dial in the sound really well.
Yeah.
And heard a lot about JTR, your videos actually.
Yeah.
Other systems too, the synthesis system, I tested out. Nice system, but there's just no comparison. And I'd heard that from you and others, and I just needed to experience it.
Yeah.
It was worth the trip to come out and like check before splurging.
What's a big investment? I mean, let's face it, this hobby isn't cheap. It's not inexpensive when you get to this level.
Yeah.
And so making that commitment is, I mean, you're really going by blind faith, saying, hey, Michael, I trust you, but can I confirm? And so I've been sharing my heart and my passion when I first flew out to JTR and I heard it for the first time, same as you, it just blew me away. I knew that was the journey I was going to be on for my home theater. And building that over time. And of course I couldn't build it all at once. And so I had to build it over years of time, but I knew that's what I was looking for. And I know I just made a video recently talking about how this is my end game setup. I'm not saying that this is the absolute best. There's bigger subwoofers out there. There's an 80-inch subwoofer, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
It'll play down to 2 hertz, but I don't need 2 hertz. 5 is plenty for me.
Yeah.
So we went through a bunch of different demos. I've got a Kaleidescape script that takes us through different concerts, different music, movies, certain atmos. Kind of share with us maybe what were some of those demos, maybe what are some of the things that stood out during those demos?
Yeah, so much. The clarity was one of the things I was looking for, was to be able to hear the vocals in the center like a theater, and this thing did not disappoint.
Yeah.
My daughter and I, we love movies. We watch them every Friday and Saturday night, so it was very important to get the full theater experience, and this did it. I mean, anywhere from, what was it, the Midway?
Midway where the planes and explosions.
The typewriter, the clicks of the typewriter was just on point.
Yeah.
You could hear every little bit. There was every detail. There was nothing missing, essentially.
A lot of guys ask me, you know, hey, Michael, you know, horns are typically bright. A lot of times, you know, I've owned clips. I love clips. But they are bright on the top end. There's no doubt. But I've always enjoyed that. So describe maybe the top end on this. Do you feel that they're bright? Is it smooth? What does that sound like to your ears?
Yeah, that was one thing I was looking for, because the synthesis demo that I had, it just wasn't hitting it. And it could be an equalization thing, I'm not sure.
Sure, different rooms, different configurations.
There's a lot of components, but this hit exactly what I was looking for. The synthesis was too piercing to the point where I felt fatigue in the demo, which was less than half of your demo, which is a half hour, which is great, because it was a great breadth of experiences.
Sure.
The music, I mean, there's nothing that didn't do, which is what's super impressive about that. And there was no time where I felt fatigue per se.
Yeah, that's a 30-minute demo. And we were pretty much back to back to back.
Yeah.
Now what I like to do is kind of alternate from something that's really high and dynamic and in your face to something a little bit more laid back, like something from A Star Is Born or something from Greatest Showman. You know, nice female vocal and piano. But then we go right
roller coaster ride.
but then we go right back into it
right.
and go full on. So I normally listen to about negative or about 10 dB below reference. But there was one particular scene I love going to reference, and that's in A Book of Eli. There's 2 gunshots in the town scene, and I wanted you to experience that because, you know, in certain systems it can be very, very bright, and I could see that could be absolutely fatiguing. Mm-hmm. So describe that scene when that gunshot went off the first time and then the second time. So we were at reference. What did that sound like?
That was super powerful. Mm-hmm. It was loud, yes, but it wasn't at all it wasn't at all fatiguing. Mm-hmm. It was, I mean, you just felt it. Yeah. You felt it. It was the pop of a gun. I didn't know it was possible. I think that would have been louder than an actual gun. Yeah. I mean, it really did replicate what it would have felt like to be there.
So another thing, too, is in regards to subwoofers, a lot of guys say, man, you know, I don't think I really need the infrasonics. I mean, my subwoofers go down to 20 hertz or 18 hertz. We were playing some frequencies that you absolutely could not hear, but you could feel.
Oh, yeah.
In a quiet place, when the monster's walking above stairs, even when he was breathing, we're feeling it, but we're not hearing it. It's a weird sensation.
Yeah.
Have you ever experienced infrasonics, like really low frequencies?
It's probably been theaters where I've felt that, but honestly here, I felt it even more.
Okay. Well, it's definitely a smaller room.
It's a smaller room. I think that helped with it too.
Sure.
Yeah, I probably have never heard subwoofers like that in a home environment. So
is that I don't know. I get excited when I feel stuff, man. I don't have, looking down here, I've got 6 theater seats. There's no bass shakers. There's no butt kickers. And then down here on the floor, this is concrete. And that, you said in your home, that's the same thing, right?
It's in the basement.
Yeah, so you don't get any reinforcement from the substructure or the structure underneath. Knowing that you're getting tactile bass just from the 2 subwoofers, because the 612s, they're crossed over, I think, about 70 hertz, so they're not playing really low frequencies. So everything that we're feeling was coming from just those 2 RS2, and those are sealed subwoofers.
That's what I was going to say. It was wild that they're sealed too. I wasn't expecting that.
I was never a big fan of sealed until I heard Jeff's 18s.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where it's like there's enough surface area and the woofers are so big and he's got so much power. 4,000 watt continuous amplifier, you're going to feel it. Yeah. Now, if you need more than that, if you got a bigger room or you just want to go a little crazy, the 4,000 ULF's even more than that. Mm-hmm. But they provide everything that I need in a dedicated theater room.
It was clean is the thing. You feel it, but it was clean. It wasn't overbearing. Now, maybe some people want that, and that's great. Yeah. But that hit the spot for me too, so you're making me a believer of the sealed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like it on larger subwoofers. If you had 12s, I would recommend ported all day. 15s, probably ported. Yeah. But when you get up to those bigger subwoofers, again, I've heard the ported version, they're amazing. Sealed, I'm just saying that you can go with sealed and that allows you to have a smaller cabinet. Mm-hmm. Ported tends to be a little bit bigger. And I knew behind my, my cabinet right here, I just didn't have the space for the big, monstrous 4,000 ULFs. And I like the fact that they're all the same height. I don't know, that's kind of dorky of me, but I just like that symmetry going across the front soundstage of the subwoofers being the same height as the
look
tower.
Good.
So what are you thinking about in your theater room? What are you, speaker-wise, what are you looking for? How big is your room? Yours is a little bit bigger than mine.
A little bit bigger. It's 14.5 wide, 25 deep. About 5 of that's lost because it's kind of a hallway leads into it, and there's a couple of doors for storage. So, but I'm looking at a very similar setup, or was considering that, and now that I've heard it, that's only speaks louder for that, because now I could say this is what mine more or less could sound like. There's going to be a little bit difference in the rooms, but that was very helpful. So I appreciate you doing that.
So are you looking at doing towers? Are you looking at doing monitors like I've got, like the 212 HTRs?
Yeah, I was looking at the 212 HTR.
Okay.
Yep, and the same with the subs.
Yeah, because I think you said you were going to have something similar. You would have a cabinet below in your room.
Right, yep. there's not a lot of room for the equipment elsewhere, so put it underneath there.
Yeah, and that's why I had to do it here. I mean, when you guys look at my room, there's not a lot of space left, you know, so I didn't have a space that I could put a rack in there.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I've always encouraged everyone to just do the best you can with what you have. And I think even though this isn't an ideal room and it's not a perfect room, I still think I get a pretty amazing experience with it.
It's amazing. Yeah. You did a wonderful job with it, and I do appreciate you taking the time and allowing me to come check it out.
Yeah. No, and that's what I want to do. I want people to hear more than just me. They know I love JTR. They know why I love JTR. But sometimes people wonder, is that just marketing? Are you getting paid by JTR? I had somebody ask me the other day, they're like, oh, he's got to be getting paid to say that. No, I literally love this company. Now, do I benefit from it as a dealer? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I want people to experience it for themselves, and that's why I've opened up my home. Invite people like you to come and hear it and check it out. If they want to, we're going to have a showroom in not Lady Lake. It'll be in Middleton, Florida. So that'll be over the next probably 6 months to a year. So people can come and check it out. But in the meantime, this is my little demo room right here, you know, just having fun and giving people experiences, hopefully, that they've never had.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Well, I know David's got to get back onto a flight, but I just wanted you to hear from him, his experience, first time hearing JTR. And so I love JTR, really do. Ever since the first time I experienced it, I did the same thing as David. I'm like, that's what I want in my home theater. And that's why we became a dealer for JTR. So if you need anything from JTR, you can get it directly from our website, obsessedhometheater.com. We'd love to earn your business, but I don't sell it because, you know, it's a profit thing. I sell it because I believe in it. You know, I put it in my own home theater. It wouldn't be in here if I didn't love it already. And so that's what we're doing with Obsessed Home Theater, is just chasing these products that I love, that I can recommend, that I can get behind and share with you guys, saying, hey, if I love it, there's a lot of you guys I think that'll love it as well. So hope this video has been helpful. Have a great week. God bless. We'll catch you in the next video.